Finally, guys, finally she has made it. She has broken her own record of hugging a tree for the longest time. A marathon time record of 72 straight hours. No food, no water, no day and night to her. Sunshine come rain, nothing could dry or even drain her spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, Truphena Muthoni, a Kenya young voice in a global fight for nature, has made it to the 72nd hour of his protest, of her protest. In Nyeri County, what you are witnessing here in Nyeri County, in front of the governor's offices, ladies and gentlemen, is more than endurance. Is more than record attempt. It's a powerful message from a generation that refuses to watch the earth die quietly. Truphena Muthoni, a 22 years old environmental activist, is currently in the final hour. And as we say, she has just made it, ladies and gentlemen.
Truphena.
Hi.
Kwaje?
Niko poa.
Naona sasa tumebakisha like 43 hours. Ndo tumalize to break record. How are you feeling? You can tell us kama kuna mtu alikuforce kuja hapa na kama umechoka ama mvua imefanya feel disappointed.
First of all, mvua nilikuwa na expect sana. Na hata kama ningeenda Brazil ningekuwa worse. Kwa kunanyesha kila siku. Kwa hivyo ndo maana nilikuwa nimepractice kwa mvua. Hiyo si kitu kwangu. Alafu hakuna mtu ameniforce kukuja hapa. Juu hakuna mtu anaweza taka kuona mtu ameforcewa kufanya 72 hours and hug mti. Nataka kumuona. Hizi force kufanya 72 hiyo si kama pambo kupanda miti. Kufanya amu dance ama uimbe. Kuhug mti si kitu ya mchezo. Hata
72 hours continuous tree hugging challenge, a symbolic and physical start for nature, indigenous forest, community rights, and the future of our planet. Let us consider the message behind the act and its deeper meaning. On 8th of December 2025, outside the Nyeri governor's office, Truphena began her silent protest, a marathon of hugging a tree, a single tree, for 72 straight hours. In this world record-breaking attempt, she does not eat, she does not drink, she does not sit down, she does not sleep, or even leave the tree's embrace, enduring rain, wind, night, and day, with only unwavering spirit and support from bystanders. This is not just hugging trees, ladies and gentlemen. Truphena explains that this gesture is a silent protest against deforestation, environmental degradation, and ecological amnesia, the kind of societal blindness that ignores how human activities destroy air, soil, water, forest, and ultimately life itself. She repeats a powerful message that before we plant 1 million trees, let us educate 1 million people on why we must plant them. This is her manifesto, ladies and gentlemen, and has always been investing in human consciousness before mass tree planting. It turns a simple act into a forceful plea for collective ecological responsibility. But doing it the other way around will just be but chasing after the wind. So why does this matter even beyond Nyeri? Human activities has left an unmistakable mark. Human activities has left an unmistakable mark on Earth's ecosystems. Air and soil pollution from industrial activity and poor regulations is worsening climatic instability. When we consider forest, including sacred indigenous ecosystems, are fast disappearing under the guise of development, urban projects, roads, and housing. Many worry that even iconic green spaces like Karura Forest, once saved through activism, face new pressures and contest management. Wildlife habitats and migration corridors are fragmented or even destroyed, affecting biodiversity and the livelihood. And guess who is destroying all this? Those to whom the mandate to guard the same has been bestowed unto their hands, the government, the system of the day. This mirrors a global story. Indigenous forest in the Amazons declared protected. This mirrors a global story. Indigenous forests in the Amazon declared protected continue to be cleared at an alarming rates, but by interests that should be their guardians. So Truphena's message is universal. You cannot conserve half-heartedly. Nature is always unforgiving. Let us for a little while consider the legacy of the late Wangari Maathai. In Kenya, the spirit of environmental activism carries the unmistakable influence of Professor Wangari Maathai, Nobel Peace Prize laureate and founder of the Green Belt Movement, a grassroots organization that empowered women to plant trees, protect forests, and link ecosystem stewardship with social justice. Maathai fought deforestation and land grabbing throughout her life, facing political persecution, arrests, and even ridicule. And the same is happening to the little girl as we speak today. So Wangari Maathai fought deforestation and land grabbing throughout her life, facing political persecution, arrests, and ridicule from the system because she understood that environmental health and human dignity are two but inseparable. Like loyal successors of her work, today's activists respect that forests are not just wood and leaves. They are life, culture, and even a future for our children and our children's children. So let us consider the support and the reaction that Truphena has endured throughout this challenge of 72 straight hours hugging a tree. Truphena's courageous act has drawn a range of responses. She has support from political figures, including former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, popularly known as Rigiji, who cheered her on and highlighted the environmental and mental health dimensions of her challenge. High-profile personalities like PLO Lumumba have also visited, showing respect for the courage and calling attention on her campaign. I've also been able to see Jubilee Party's Pauline Njoroge and other community leaders who have added their voices to the chorus of encouragement. And I too, today, Jenga Kenya, I do add my voice to it and will very, very much appreciate for what you have done, Muthoni, Truphena. You are tremendous. public reactions have come in mixed packages. We have applause with reflection, criticism, and even commentary. But this diversity is exactly what Truphena intended, to spark debate, awareness, and accountability. So let's consider, as we wrap up our conversation today, a silent protest with a roaring message from Truphena Muthoni. Truphena calls this a silent protest. And we all know how the youthful protests have always ended up. In June 2024, we saw when the young ones rose with that voice of reason, the system couldn't take it in. It fears correction, it fears criticism. So they were met with brutal power, the iron fist of the system. So what does this silent protest of Truphena tell you? Truphena calls this a silent protest not because it is quiet, but because it speaks deeply without shouting slogans, placards, or even confrontation like the one we witnessed amongst our agencies in 2024 and 2025. So it highlights something more many Kenyans and many people fear to say out loud, that Kenyans' leadership sometimes promises green credentials on the global stage while allowing local ecosystems to be fragmented, lands to be developed at the expense of biodiversity, and indigenous rights to be sidelined. In Nyeri, a region rich with forest and fertile lands, Truphena is reminding us that development without environmental integrity is not progress. Tarmacs and skyscrapers cannot replace ecosystems that sustain life. This is a challenge to priorities and a challenge to conscience as well. What comes next? Whether Truphena wins anything out of this contest, the 72 hours record, or not, she will not be forgotten. She has already reinforced the idea that conservation is more than reforestation. It is a transformation of mindsets, amplified the message that youth activism matters. It is a transformation of the mindset as well, loudly, visibly, and in non-violent ways. So amplified the message that youth activism matters. She has amplified the message that youth activism matters loudly, visibly, and in non-violent ways, linked environmental health with mental well-being, cultural identity, and generational hope through conservation of nature. Her call, teach 1 million people before planting 1 million trees, may become one of the Kenya's most enduring environmental slogans. So to all leaders, activists, citizens, and every person burdened by this moment of earth, by this moment on earth, Truphena Muthoni is not just hugging a tree. She is embracing a future we all must share. Her silence stands speaking louder than many speeches. Nature is unforgiving, but it is still willing to heal if we choose to listen.